Joining us now in the studio is our friend Greg Swenson from the Republican Overseas UK organisation here in London. Well, Greg, massively significant moment last night because at one point DeSantis was not only seen as the main rival to Trump, he was seen as the likely winner of the Republicans' nomination. But I think him dropping out, having spent a lot of money, he's realised it's all over. Donald gets the nomination, doesn't he?
That's right. There's just no doubt that Trump is going to win. I mean, Nikki Haley might stay in until South Carolina, or maybe she drops before she gets embarrassed by losing her own state to President Trump. So, you know, we knew this was coming. I didn't know it would happen this soon, that, you know, the governor would drop out yesterday. But, you know, it was inevitable. He had no chance. You know, losing by 30 points in Iowa was kind of the writing on the wall.
It seems to me that, I mean, he was called sort of Diet Trump, wasn't he, DeSantis,
yeah.
By some people.
He's in the same lane, yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. Whereas it seems to me Nikki Haley is sort of slightly more in the centre when it comes to Republicans.
She's a rhino.
Rhino is a Republican name only, yeah, when it comes to the split in the party. But it seems clear to me the direction of travel in which we're going to go in, and that's only going to embolden Trump, really.
Right, I think so. And, you know, again, she doesn't really have much of a chance. She's polling, you know, 15 down to Trump in the average, but the most recent polls have, you know, 17, 20, 25. So, you know, I don't think she's got a shot. And you're right, you know, Trump and DeSantis were kind of in the same lane, you know, that populist, right-wing, conservative lane. Nikki Haley's pretty conservative by most historical measures, but she's had this appeal to the more moderate wing. She's getting support both from voters and donors, more importantly, really moderate and even Democrats. You know, having a fundraiser for her in New York with prominent Democrats.
Would she be a better candidate to go up against Biden than Trump, even though it's unlikely to happen?
She would be. I mean, that's just the math, right? Because she appeals to independents, 43% of Americans identify as independents now. So she would do much better with not just the never Trumpers, but other moderates, but then again, that goes back to the pre-Trump party of McCain and Romney and George W. Bush, which, you know, we were, like here in the UK, we were electing so-called conservatives, but they just weren't doing anything with government. So I think, you know, the party's fed up with that, and that's why I don't think she has a chance.
Yeah, and also Trump is now attracting a lot of support from people who were neutral, people who consider themselves to be mainstream, because despite the garish qualities that Donald has, they like a lot of his policies, and they're thinking, who else do we get? We're hearing that Nikki Haley is going to quite significantly lose the bellwether state of New Hampshire tomorrow night. Yeah. So Trump goes marching on, unstoppable. He will be the nomination to run for president for the Republicans at the next election, which of course happens in between now and November. So I suppose the big question is what are the Democrats going to be? Because I think that Trump can beat Biden because he has this image as geriatric, senile, not effective. The country has not been a success under him in many respects.
I don't think it's an image. I think that's just the
crime. Well, he's had some economic breaks, but crime is a real problem. So if they can't get rid of Biden, I mean, Trump's going to win.
Pretty likely at this point. And originally, the Democrats wanted Trump to be the candidate. That's why they were so behind these indictments that were helped. Exactly. It might backfire. I mean, you know, Trump went straight up after the Alvin Bragg indictment. All that support came from DeSantis. So DeSantis was doing pretty well, and it was kind of a dead heat. But as soon as the indictments came, so a lot of the traditional voters are moving to Trump, not because they've changed their view about Trump. What they've seen is a witch hunt. They've seen the weaponization, the lawfare, the weaponization of the justice system.
Is that going to cease, do you think, if Trump becomes a candidate? Is that going to ramp up?
I think it will ramp up, and it might not help him in the general, especially if he gets a conviction in one of those, because there's even some, you know, 10% of Republicans have said they won't vote for him if he's got a conviction. I don't know that that's fair because of these indictments being so obscene.
They're not fair.
Right. But I think, you know, it just is what it is. So, look, it's going to be really interesting, but I think the Democrat psyop of elevating Trump, which they did quite deliberately, might backfire. And now it looks like it's not, even though Trump's tied against, you know, the best thing for Trump is how bad Biden is.
Yeah.
Right? He's polling at 31 on the economy. He's polling at 33 on foreign policy. And on the border,
historical lows,
18.
Right? They're historical
18,
lows.
1-8.
Yeah.
So Trump might not be able to beat a lot of Democrats, but he can beat Biden. So they're going to have to, they will have to rethink this.
Indeed, they spent a long time trying to get rid of Trump. Now they think they can't beat him. So